What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 101, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday at noon Eastern. I'm Kevin McManus. With me, Nick Hassell.
They didn't pull the plug on us.
No, they didn't. They let us go over 100. Yeah. I'm a little disappointed.
Season 2, we're in there.
I think we already started season 2 when we got to the second year, but whatever. So this is episode 101.
Yeah.
Very fitting, because we got a lot of information to go over.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over our predictions and things that we made for the Game Awards and for PSX. Then we're going to go over all the news and stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Then we're going to go into some other news that happened. Then we're going to touch on some comments from last week, do what we're playing, and then end just going over the releases really quick. So a jam-packed episode. And, of course, since it is a prediction episode, my title belt that we have not seen for a very long time.
Yeah.
I left it downstairs and kept.
Is that why there's dust all over it?
Shut up! I left it downstairs, kept forgetting to bring it up. Is on the line, and I haven't looked. I don't know ahead of time. We're going to tally this all up. I think I lost
just because it's been happening over the past 2 days for the most part. So.
That's true. I think I lost the title to Kellen, but we're going to see officially what happens. And obviously, Kellen not here to take the title from me.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he gets it. We'll see if I even remember to give it to him. But anyway.
You lost the title. I lost my brain watching these awards. So.
This is on the line. Yeah, you weren't too happy. I was happy. I don't have too many complaints. I will say, Game Awards this year are really well done, presentation-wise. I'm not a big fan of the way that they implemented voting from the fans into the voting choices. I thought that that's weird, and it makes me question if games would have won without that.
Yeah.
But as far as like the presentation and everything, minus one moment, I really liked how
was amazing.
Professional everything was.
A
little too many ads, but
I would prefer it to be like if they want to go the way of the Oscars for their presentation, have an actual orchestra versus dudes headbanging with guitars and whatever that other music act was where I was just like, what is this?
Yeah,
and turn the volume off.
Bathroom break is what that was.
Like, if they want to go the way of the Oscars, I think they need to get away from fan voting. If they want to implement an award that is purely fan voting, that's cool. Open it up, let people vote. But I want there to be like an established, like, here's some IGN dudes, here's some Kotaku, here's some GameSpot, here's, some smaller outlets, here's Mr. Jim Quisition himself.
Yeah, that's what they had. They have 51 of them, and then they're like, and fans. So,
because, I mean, as far as entertainment goes, I feel like video games have more polarizing groups than you didn't like La La Land or something like that. You're not gonna get beat up and flamed all over the internet for it. But if you like a game that someone doesn't like, then you're their enemy, sort of thing. So I would like a fan vote for a section, and then everything else is people who know what they're talking about and aren't.
You want a popular vote and an electoral college,
pretty much,
basically, yeah.
I want to elect my representatives for this. So make sure Persona wins. But
I agree. I think that's the best way to do it. And they already had category sectioned off where only people who knew about fighting games would vote in the fighting game thing. But then all the fans could vote, and it's like, well, I'm just going to vote for DC.
Honestly, if
DC.
I want to see fans' opinions, then just go to GameFAQs. They do that stuff every year where they have the popular votes, and they actually do it quite well. But I don't know. It seems quote-unquote prestigious. I mean, everyone's wearing a T-shirt and jacket over it, so it's not really high class. But I want to see it spruced up a little bit. I want to see it still serious and not with the video gamer kind of humor. It's like, whatever sort of jokes that only we would get. Even though I really liked Italian Bro, who just went completely off the rails, had been doing drugs or something that night.
I think he was just not sober. I think they had a lot of alcohol given out there.
Even though I thoroughly enjoyed his 15 minutes of fame.
It's not the first time he's done that.
Oh, yeah. I remember his E3 stage presence as well, and it was pretty similar. But I think they should keep it more contained, and I don't know.
Yeah, they're getting there. I think their problem is that they want to do new announcements to bring people in, but they really want it about the games, and like I think they should do every award on stage. I think the backstage, if an award isn't important enough to be done on the stage in this, like, don't
there were literally
award.
some, and I only noticed I only care because Persona was a victim of one of these, and Mario. It's only win this year was him coming to the stage, and it was sort of like Persona 5 Best RPG of the Year, but let's go to our next award, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
That's a big moment to give that niche game.
Yeah. So I wish all the
literal
awards
second
got screen time, at least. And it was also weird. Some of them didn't have videos.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what? They're just reading them? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, let's go over this list and then talk
issues. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on wrong, but
best one so far though, presentation wise and everything.
Close.
Best
last year's was pretty good, but they just had a bunch of stupid stuff.
Yeah, also Overwatch won Game of the Year.
Yeah, that too.
Speaking of which, Game of the Year, that went to Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild.
To an actual no one surprise.
Yeah, basically. I guess Kellen's because he voted for Horizon, but we got that point. Best game direction, all of us voted for Zelda. Lo and behold, Zelda won that title as well.
Still don't know what game direction means, but we all get it right.
Best narrative, What Remains of Edith Finch won this, and that is Kellen, so we're all tied up with 2 each. I thought Nier might get that one, and you thought Wolfenstein, and or no, I thought Wolfenstein,
what?
You thought Nier. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually still surprised Wolfenstein didn't get it.
I am surprised Wolfenstein didn't get it. I'm surprised Nier didn't get it.
What Remains of Edith Finch deserves something, and I'm glad it won something.
Sure.
I was just surprised that enough people played it.
And to be fair,
vote for it.
With the exception of 1 or 2 categories, everything on there is every entry on each category is there for a reason. I mean, it's not like any of these games are terrible and oh god, get it out sort of thing. But they're all on there for a reason. Minus Zelda being on soundtrack, but
yeah, I think that's weird. I think Gravity Rush absolutely should be on soundtrack, or Danganronpa, also fitting. Best art direction, we all picked Cuphead. Cuphead won. That one was the most obvious award of the night, probably. Best score, best score music, we all picked Persona, and Nier took that category, which I'm very happy for. I love Nier's music. Super surprising.
I just don't see it.
Super surprising.
The game has good songs, but the problem with comparing that to Persona is Nier's got this many good songs, Persona has this many good songs.
You saw them rocking out on stage when they started playing the Persona music. I was like, I'm shocked. But it's cool. I'm happy Nier won something.
I was pissed because this is one of those that they announced during the pre-show. The last one that they announced during the pre-show, and the first song that they played
was the Persona
when opening
music.
Was the battle music. And I was just like, what?
It was a little weird. Best audio design, you and I picked Hellblade.
Yeah.
And the winner was Hellblade. Maybe Kellen's not getting my title.
I thought that was one of the easier ones. Cuphead was up there as well, but
I agree. He picked a Resident Evil, which I think is probably a second.
Well, the problem is that its sound design is off the charts in one mode, VR. Otherwise, it's just like every other game.
Am I missing a page? How horrible.
Found it.
This is awkward. Best performance. Cool. I got it right. Melina Juergens, Hellblade. I think this was on I picked Hellblade for everything. You picked New Colossus, and Kellen picked Horizon. So
what helped her was the fact that she wore her.
That was awesome.
Outfit
she had my favorite acceptance speech of the night. Also, how she fangirled a little bit over Snoke.
Yeah.
Gollum.
Yeah, I know you're talking.
I feel bad because this is how everybody feels about him. Nobody knows who he is. Everybody
you
just
made me
knows
forget
him
his name by
as Andy. Andy.
Keep going. Circus.
Next up, Games for Impact. Hellblade. Me and you both picked.
Yeah.
So, never mind. Kellen's not winning.
I feel like at that point, it was either games for impact or sound design. I said this is Hellblade's best chance of winning because impact, because of obviously what the game was and what it was about, having all those voices in your head, and also sound design because I pointed out some examples, like the streamer I watch where he was sitting there in a sword fight with something, and you just hear the voice go, behind you, and he pulled off the perfect parry only because of that. So
yeah, I bought the game. Haven't played it yet. I'll have my thoughts on it next. I'm sure I'll like it. I'll have my thoughts on it next week or whenever. Next up, best ongoing game. Kellen and I picked Overwatch. You picked Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
Overwatch took the win.
Which is funny because there was a bunch of Rockstar.
I did really well. I got 7 of these so far.
There was a bunch of Rockstar
ads. Yeah, I thought that was awkward. That's why I thought Zelda might not win Game of the Year, because they announced the DLC in the middle of the show, and I was like, I feel like they would have held it. Been like, here's Zelda, and by the way, here's
my
the
thinking
DLC.
was I pretty much threw in the flag early on as far as Game of the Year because I realized that they had Reggie out there, they had creators.
Reggie's always there.
Like they had everyone in house, and you wouldn't have shipped them out there. You wouldn't have shipped the whole gang out there basically for watching someone else win. So,
best mobile game I believe was Monument Valley 2.
Sounds right.
I'm going off the top, but it definitely wasn't Fire Emblem or Mario Run. So I believe it was Monument Valley 2. So we didn't get anything. Best handheld game, Metroid: Samus Returns. That was once again you and I. Best VR game. This was my mistake. I shouldn't have caved in. It was Resident Evil 7. You and Kellen got it. I caved last moment and went with Super Hot just to be different, and then realized how dumb it was right after I did that.
I think you let him talk you into it.
Yeah, I did. I never let Kellen talk for too long. It's a mistake.
And then he didn't pick it.
Best action game. Wolfenstein took best action game. Yeah, that's you.
I was
you
quite
and I
happy.
are tied again.
Quite happy about
8.
that.
Kellen has 5. Yeah, I really thought Destiny 2 would get it. I thought they'd want to give something to Destiny, and I thought that would be, but
I think that's something where if there was fan vote in it, I think it dragged it down. Because if you look at the subreddits and whatever else about this game, it sounds
like this is a weak category.
It sounds like the worst released game of all time when you ask people about it, but when you ask critical reception about it, it's great. All this other stuff. So I feel like maybe Destiny 2 was up there. Maybe it was just ahead or tied with it, and then the fans dragged it down.
It'd be cool to see the numbers.
Because everybody loves Wolfenstein too. So
I'm actually surprised it didn't win more. Next up, best action adventure game. That was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Correct.
Me and Kellen voted Horizon because that's where I thought Horizon was going to get something, and you picked Zelda. It's almost like you shouldn't bet against Zelda.
Well,
Except in score, I guess.
I think at some point during the voting or when prediction process, there we go, we started thinking that they kind of want to give stuff out to everyone, sort of thing, like everybody wins, but
they didn't really do that.
They did not go that route.
Yeah, they sure didn't. Best role playing game. We all picked something different here. And I picked Persona. You backed away from Persona, huh? You went with Original Sin. And Kellen went with Nier.
I actually picked that? Damn, okay.
Yep. And according to my paper, my paper wouldn't lie to me. Best fighting game. I picked Injustice. You and Kellen both picked Tekken.
Yeah.
Pulling back ahead. I'm at 10. You're at 9. Kellen's at 5.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought Kellen won.
It was the what remains of Edith Finch, just because he got that correct. I was like, man, Kellen's going to school me. Best family game. You and I picked Mario. Kellen picked Mario Kart. Mario won.
I forgot that was even an option.
Well, that's because they walked out and went, Mario, and walked away. Best strategy game. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle won this, and I was very shocked.
Yes.
We all voted for XCOM.
Well, I mean, just look at just basic internet / critical / whatever reviews. Like, everyone loves XCOM.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, everybody liked Mario and Rabbids, but it was kind of like, this isn't terrible.
This is
everybody
cool.
kind of thought it was going to be horrible. Yeah. So I couldn't believe that one, but whatever.
We're getting into the whatever winners.
Sport / racing game went to Forza, which I picked. You both picked FIFA. So I'm at 12 now. Best multiplayer. You went with Splatoon. I went with PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Do you know what won? I don't know what won this.
No.
I don't. Yeah, look. Go ahead and look it up. I have literally no clue what won this.
Thus being the problem with the show.
Yeah. Most anticipated game. Kellen got this with Last of Us Part 2, which I'm actually shocked that won. I thought that would be one of the lower ones because that last trailer was so controversial. But
well,
and it's an exclusive.
There's that, and it's 2019. There's no way it's
and
coming
it's the furthest out game. Yeah. All those things are true, but it won, which shocked me. Kellen got that. That was another reason I was like, oh no, Kellen's going to take over. Best independent game. And I believe this went to Cuphead.
Yes.
And that is Everybody But Me. I picked Hellblade. Sounds right. So you have 11, I have 12, and Kellen has 7. And you can hook me up with the best multiplayer winner.
PUBG.
Hey, me and Kellen. Pulled ahead with 13. Kellen has 8, and you have 11. So those are the predictions for the Game Award winners. But it's not over because we still have 5 more. And that was our predictions of announcements / PSX reveals or whatever they were going to do.
Yeah.
I predicted God of War is coming out in May. We got no date for God of War. In fact, they specifically said they're not going to date it until they're confident. So that's not happening. Though a leaked date of March did come out.
Yeah, so 18th?
22nd. Which is a Thursday. But they removed it, and they clearly didn't say anything about it. So.
Yeah.
You have Red Dead gameplay plus release date. That didn't happen. Kellen has Ratchet & Clank 2. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
I said Dreams will come out by the end of March. That didn't happen. Dreams was there, but they announced that they were going to be there. And they just said 2018.
Had a real trippy video for it, too.
That game looks awesome. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but they went in depth today with what the game is. It seems really cool. I'm very excited. Resident Evil 2 Remake, not there. Square Avengers, not there.
To be fair, that's going to be on my E3 predictions list. And so if you want to jump ahead of me, that feels like a kind of a bombshell to drop sort of thing. And it'll have more impact when it's the actual anniversary. And
it's also just important to note with this PSX, it was very casual, very like, hey, here's a thing. We're just talking to you.
We are very used to actual conferences, but I think I said it last week too. That whole Paris thing kind of threw a wrench into all of this.
Yeah, and I do think it's because of the One X and Mario. Like, I really do think that they wanted some headlines. Spyro Trilogy, not there. FromSoft game. Ding, ding, ding. There.
Good thing I didn't say Bloodborne 2 because it's kind of up in the air, but I'm pretty sure it's Bloodborne 2.
It looked like Bloodborne 2 to me. Super Smash Switch, not there, Kellen. Death Stranding trailer. Did I specifically say that I was going to have the girl in it? We might need to do a review on that, but I'm going to give myself a point and circle it. I
feel like I said Emma Stone's name. So,
well, this was not my prediction, so I will say.
Oh, was that Kellen?
No, my prediction was Death Stranding trailer.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll see. Yours, Days Gone's trailer, summer 2018. That game might not even be coming in 2018, so no. Kellen says Anthem's going to be there. No. I said Zelda's DLC will be dated. Yes. That happened. It's out now, I believe.
Today.
Cyberpunk would be teased. No. That would have been cool, though.
Yeah.
That would have been really nice. And then Final Fantasy Remake 2018. No. We did real bad.
It's almost like we didn't know what this was going to be.
It's almost like they didn't know.
Yeah.
So, anyway, with that being said, I have 14, not counting my floating Death Stranding point. You have 12, and Kellen has 8. So it doesn't matter. I have retained my championship. I didn't lose it to Kellen's 8 points. And it is important to note that it will be back on the line in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when we go over our January predictions that we made literally the first week of January, which would have been last year when we get to it. So that's going to be fun, and then we'll be predicting 2018, and I'm sure we don't have much information at all about 2018, especially looking at 2017. So we'll see.
We have very general information. if you were to look at a GameSpot or whatever article, and it's like list of 2018 games, they're all 3 question marks.
Yeah, I'll say. Like I said, I don't even know if Days Gone's going to be there or coming out. And the reason I say that, just so people know, is Shuhei Yoshida on PSX Stage said that he thinks the game is playable all the way through now. And I'm like, that's not a good sign for a big open world thing like that needs polish and everything. That's not a good sign that the game's on its way. That's a Final Fantasy 15 remark.
Yeah.
Like when that game was still 2 years off, so we'll see. I don't know how big Days Gone is, but I think that's an early 2019 game.
Well, and I don't know if it has a place.
It sure doesn't, especially with some of the announcements that we got.
Well, the thing, too, you also have to think about is, are they going to put a zombie franchise with another zombie franchise in 2019?
Yeah, with maybe 2 more as were announced. So let's get into actual announcements. We'll start with the Game Awards. We're just going to kind of go over them, talk about maybe what we thought of them. Not going to go too in-depth unless we want to, unless it's something we're real excited for. First, World War Z. This is what I'm talking about with the zombie thing. More zombie things. This one reminded me a lot of Days Gone, where it had the zombies like stumbling over each other to get to you. Obviously, very different setting, very different mood.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of that basically tech demo of Days Gone when they first showed it off that one time.
Yeah, when he was running up the barn or something like that.
I know I'm now beating a dead horse, but I think Sony needs to really think about how to market that game, Days Gone, and make it look very different from all these zombie games. There's even more that got announced too that we didn't get to yet, but like
I don't know. And you think about I can't think of the Xbox game with the zombies.
State of Decay?
Yeah. I don't
also
know.
not there. Xbox literally not here.
Yeah.
What weren't on stage. They shot out a release date for Sea of Thieves, March something.
That's the March I was thinking of.
March 18th,
okay.
I think. That one is, yeah. That's cool. But
controller's cool.
The controller's awesome. They didn't have like any other presence at the show at all, and I thought that was unfortunate, considering Sony took literally 9 minutes to show Fetus Baby, and Nintendo obviously had the spotlight a whole lot with some announcements.
Well, and having Andrew House there, it felt
that's
very
true.
Sony.
That's true. So next up, a lot of PSVR games actually, but Accounting Plus PSVR was a big one. This is done by the Rick and Morty guys, I guess.
You can definitely tell.
You can definitely hear it. Apparently, it's a comedy style game.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about it. I didn't watch the aftermath of it. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll wait for reviews and I'll check it out when it's coming. Then Vacation Simulator got revealed. I thought that was awesome because cool. I do like Job Simulator, and I was pretty excited as soon as they showed that. And I was like, ooh, Job Simulator too. And I was like, oh, Vacation Simulator.
Yeah.
Obvious. Very cool. Very cool. So that's one of the more fun casual VR games for sure for people that aren't into gaming. That's probably the best one.
Check out VR.
Yeah, it's probably the best one, so I'm glad there's another one. Soul Calibur 6.
That was awesome.
Showed up. My stream actually froze twice during the show, and this was once. So I didn't actually really get to see the entire trailer live. I had to go back and watch it. Mm-hmm. It looks like Soul Calibur 2. It looks much more.
It definitely looks like a remake / reimagining. I feel like we need to hammer down terms at the start of 2018 because remake. All these words.
Yeah.
All these re's. But it feels like they are taking the inspiration of 1, maybe 2, and putting that into a next-gen sort of Tekken 7 overhaul.
Yeah, it looks good.
Because there were parries, there were specials, there was all sorts of stuff going on in just a simple video.
No big like character stuff, which is what I kind of thought we might get maybe at PSX. I was saying off camera, I think 2B is the perfect PlayStation exclusive character if they're going to go that route where they have one for each console.
Yeah, I agreed with that just because of her look. It seems a lot more like regal, and that's what the game's all about, and like Victorian.
She's got a sword, which fits the theme that everybody has a weapon. So I think that 2B in that game would make perfect sense and fit kind of the Tekken rumor that people thought 2B was going to be in Tekken. Maybe they saw a screenshot of this.
All I know is, if this game's definitely not coming out before EVO, which is July. So it's not going to make like the fighting game sort of schedule.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll show it off there, have demos, whatever, maybe handful of playable characters. But when this comes out, there's going to be this, Tekken, Street Fighter, hopefully gets buffed up a little bit, Marvel, Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah.
There's this crossover madness with the Persona characters and all sorts of
Ruby and BlazBlue.
There may be, by the time 2019 Evo rolls around, maybe a Persona Arena game out.
Please. At least put one of the characters in the
Injustice,
crossover game.
I keep forgetting that. Maybe a new Mortal Kombat by 2019. It's a really good time for fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
It is an exceptionally good time for fighting games, and this just made it better because Soul Calibur 1 and 2, I'm ignoring 3 and beyond, near and dear to this guy. I really like those games a lot.
2's great. One, I mean, 1's good too, but 2 is just better.
2 just did everything better than 1. So,
next up, Fade to Silence, which was the THQ Nordic game. That was teased a little bit before, and then the trailer dropped early, so that was a little awkward. But anyway, once again, this is like a survival in the elements style game that also had some
man
weird...
versus weather.
Yeah, but it also had some weird like monstery things going on that they didn't fully explain. I don't have any interest in this personally.
Actual 0.
Yeah, whatever. Witchfire, which I thought was a really good trailer, and it turned out to be a game I don't care about, but... it started out, it's going to kill... Oh, they said from the creators of Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which is like more of a walking simulator style thing, and the game looked like a walking simulator. And I was like, oh, this is cool.
Until the spookies pop out.
And then he pulls out 2 guns, and it just becomes Doom. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I want out of this. Yeah. But I appreciate the trailer. The trailer was sweet. So
a lot of spoopies. I don't know if I can handle it.
Next up, GTFO. This is the Payday team doing some sort of like almost like spelunking looking game where you're going into some caves.
It's like Alien meets like bank heists. Basically.
The game seems cool. I like what it's doing.
My problem with it is that games that start off marketing this way are really boring by yourself. Like
absolutely.
They are exclusively co-op, which I know my phrase that I think Kellen's kind of adopted now is that co-op makes everything better. That's true, but as long as it's not co-op exclusive, because that doesn't.
I'm going to disagree with you in a minute. Next up, Shadows Die Twice. This is the rumored Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
This is the code name for From Software. We got a solid 6 seconds of this, and it looked very Bloodborne 2 to me. Now, a lot of people are saying it's one of their old games. Tenchu, I believe is the game. Because a similar line is uttered from a boss battle in a previous one of those games. We don't know anything about this.
It looked a lot like...
I think it's Bloodborne 2.
There's a weapon in Bloodborne where it's got like sort of the wooden handle and I guess sort of taped across, but it folds out.
There's a lot of taped weapons.
But it folds out into that axe, like a butcher's axe. Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like, folded
Isn't it the weapon on the cover?
Yes.
Of the game? Yeah. It looks exactly like that to me too. And I was like, oh, and then the trailer just ended and I was like, that's a cool way to do it.
It is very much not Armored Core. We can say that much.
Unfortunately, that's what I wanted. But oh well. So that's exciting. I can't wait to see. Yeah. They piqued my interest, which is what I want.
I mean, I feel like it was one of those where I was like getting excited,
and
I
think Keeley kind of let out a little bit that it is Bloodborne 2. Because he specifically kept saying, wait till, because that was the last thing revealed in the pre-show. He specifically kept saying, things are going to happen that people didn't think would be happening. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the pre-show.
2, even if you
Bloodborne 2.
Go back all the way back to the E3 predictions that we did, it's been rumored all year.
Yeah, PlayStation All-Star 2, guys. Where is it?
But there's been images taken down. There's been talks, whatever. It's Bloodborne 2.
I will
that would
say,
make the most sense.
Another rumor was Devil May Cry 5. And we got the Devil May Cry collection announced, which is like 1, 2, 3 remastered. Yeah. So maybe that was what people thought 5 were. And obviously Soul Calibur was one of the rumors, and that showed up. So maybe more to the rumors than I was thinking.
The second those guys walked out from
I knew what it was.
Calibur, you knew what it was because they just did the Noctis reveal. Yeah. So they couldn't have had another new character this early. So
would have been cool. Next up, Fortnite. This is where we started getting a little awkward. Fortnite had an awesome trailer. for their 50v50 mode, which is phenomenal. I've been playing it. Lots of fun.
Does it work well?
Yeah. It's at its best when it's even. Like, there's a lot of blowouts sometimes where it's like, 25 versus 5 by the end of it, and that kind of sucks because then it becomes manhunt, and there's just people hiding, and you feel
fun games.
You feel like a complete psychopath just trying to hunt down these people who have no chance. But it's at its best when they narrow down evenly, and it ends in a small area as a 20v20. And you thought it was cool when 4 people built a fort together. Watch when 20 people work together to build these crazy intricate forts, and that's where it's really, really great. And I'm a little sad that it's a timed game mode. It's going to go away. But I think it's cool because it introduces this idea of timed game modes, and they could do some really fun stuff with that. So we'll see what happens.
Well, too, those types of people and devs, creators pay attention to the Reddits and the things like that, where people were like, "Oh man, we want this back." Hey guys, we're gonna bring this back.
Just say it's like for Christmas, it's back again. And I wanted, I was trying to predict what game mode it would be because they announced that they were gonna do a game mode. I kept trying to figure out what could you do, you know what I mean? And super simple, 50v50. And I was like, yep, that makes sense. And then I was like, I don't know if that'll be fun. And then I played it. I'm like, yep, it's super fun. It's nice to have your teammates are marked in green, so you know that they're your teammates, and you can roll in a group of 20 together the whole game and just annihilate any sad group of 5 people or less that you come across.
I'd like to see more 10 groups of 10. I think
that'd be cool. There's room for a bunch of stuff. There's room for groups of people that start with nothing, and then groups of people who start with a lot of stuff but have it lopsided, like a 75v25, but one group starts with more stuff. You could do a whole bunch of stuff.
The cool thing is that when you start getting into those different 50v50 or 10 of 10s, whatever, it starts to feel more like a Civilization sort of thing, except you're playing real time and it's a shooter. Versus,
it reminded me a lot of
and you have
Resistance. Did you play Resistance online? Resistance 2 had 60v60, if I remember correctly, and I always thought that was so cool. That was way before
at that time too.
Lots of games were doing that. And I always thought that was so cool to have the 60v60 mode, and it brought me back to those.
Lots of games,
where you just have a huge.
Lots
group.
of games at that time too were real worried about network stability. And they were just like, screw it.
And it worked.
I throw a million people.
I love that multiplayer. Next up, the awkward thing was PUBG also had an announcement, and that was the desert map. Now, this did nothing for me, but that's because I don't play PUBG. I've only seen a couple hours of it video-wise, and Fortnite's free, and that's really if PUBG was free, I'm sure I'd play it, but it's not. This reminded me of Battleborn, and the problem that people had later with Battleborn is there was only one map at launch for their MOBA mode. And then they started adding other maps, and everybody likes the first map the best. And it's that's what it was built with that map in mind, kind of thing. And I'm a little bit concerned that might happen with PUBG, where everybody just likes the first map better than this. But we'll see. I have no reason to believe that, but that's what happened with Battleborn. Is when there's a vote on map, everybody picks the first map that they had because it's the most balanced map. And it feels the game was made for it.
I come from League of Legends, and that game has one map. Per game mode, I guess I'll say. But
Battleborn is different.
There's a very specific reason why these games that rotate based on one map, that, there's a reason why they exist, because they put certain things in certain spots. They're testing how long it takes to get from A to B, from X to Y, sort of thing. So there's a lot more than just we wanted a color palette change, sort of thing. So,
next up, A Way Out is coming March 23rd. This is the, fuck the Oscars moment.
Middle fingers in the camera.
This is why I was saying there is a co-op game coming out that is co-op required that I'm very excited for. I wanted this game back at EA's press conference, and I still want it now. And they've announced that if you purchase this game, you get a second copy of it to give to a friend. So you will have a co-op partner. If you buy the game, you just get a free copy of the game. Comes with it's something that movies kind of do, where you get a Blu-ray, you get a digital copy, you get a DVD. So you get another copy of the game, and you can give that to your friend and play through the game. So that's awesome. Very happy about that.
If anything, support that guy who makes those games.
Very passionate man. Next up, In the Valley of Gods. This is the Firewatch team's new game. Looks interesting. You're going through like 1930s Egypt, taking photos, documentarian, two girls doing that. We don't know too much else about the game. We don't know if there's a supernatural thing, if it's just a story-based thing, whatever. Then they ended with the 2019 date, which is very ballsy, not because you're probably right and it is coming in 2019, just because to reveal it that early and say 2019 openly is pretty crazy.
And it looked finished, too.
I mean, what we saw, but I don't know how big the game is. It's probably a lot of voice acting and stuff to do.
I don't get announcing a game that is over a year out if it's not extremely AAA and like on the tips of everyone's tongue sort of game.
Yeah.
Like you can do that with Last of Us because everyone knows Last of Us. You can do it with Tomb Raiders and whatever else because those games are well established by now. But to do that for average walking sim,
assuming that, I mean, it looked very like Firewatch.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, like I don't know. This was the one that did absolutely nothing for me. At least some of the other ones. It excited
me for sure because I'm shocked because Firewatch just came out last year. Yeah. And then it said 2019. I was like, oh okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad they did it. Don't show me it again until the end of 2018.
I don't know why that wasn't in the pre-show or during a commercial sort of thing.
That's a big deal. Firewatch was huge. Firewatch was really big.
Still, this though,
I like
pass.
Breath of the Wild Champions Ballad revealed. That was cool.
Cool bike.
That was dumb.
Cool
Everything was cool but the bike. I'm glad that
I don't know.
I knew it was coming soon.
I don't know why he doesn't have that in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Because he just got it. How could he have it in the other game?
Well, they should have announced it.
They should patch
DLC.
It in. Probably the biggest announcements, honestly. Bayonetta 1 coming to Switch.
Huge.
Bayonetta 2 coming to Switch. Bayonetta 3 coming exclusively
that whole
to Switch.
Like 5-6 minutes block of time reminds me of why I know I shit on Nintendo a lot for laughs and for real, but I really like Reggie. Reggie's my man. And when he did that,
you thought
I know it was totally scripted, but it was one of those. Is like, oh, you thought I came all the way down here just to talk about those? And I was just like, Reggie, you got me again. And then I saw that. It was really cool how they did the 3 or whatever.
Yeah, she shot the bullets.
When he said that, I was like, 3? We got 3? And there it was.
Yeah, so that was awesome. A couple updates for it. It's going to have amiibo support. The only confirmed amiibo is the Bayonetta amiibo, which makes sense.
The Japanese collector edition of this? Wow. I need it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Did you play the Bayonettas?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I never minded that it was on the Wii U because I had one, but everyone else was like, I'm not getting a Wii U to play.
I'm excited. I'm not going to get these at launch because I have them on Wii U, but I will get them when they go down in price because I would like to play them again. It also added a co-op, like an offline wireless link co-op mode with it. So the Wii U had an online co-op mode that I never used and didn't even know it had. This has, wireless co-op mode, so that's cool. Bayonetta 3, super excited.
Depending on the date, I'll probably get it at launch. Playing it handheld, assuming it works.
I'm sure it will. They wouldn't. I don't think Nintendo.
Don't say they wouldn't.
No, I don't think Nintendo would do a partnership with a game that ran bad.
Yeah. But assuming it works well and all that stuff, playing it handheld seems quite fabulous. And I need to play through those again if I'm going to play 3. So
yeah, I'm totally going to do it before 3 comes out. And
I'm
interested in what the amiibo support is. I hope it's not just like, oh, you get extra health. Like, I hope it's something
outfits
cool. Outfits for all the Nintendo characters would be amazing. But anyway, next up, a little game called Death Stranding got an 8-minute trailer, maybe more. This,
depending on how much acid you did, it was an 8-minute experience or an 8-year experience.
This was mesmerizing. I was just on the couch like this the whole time.
I I don't think I breathed the entire time.
That's fair.
Mostly because they said don't breathe, but
that's true. They did. I was waiting for the character reveal.
Yeah.
I ain't even mad we didn't get a character reveal.
Yeah.
We got what looks like the game. Like this looks like the in-engine game running. We saw a lot more about the lore from this. It tied back into the first trailer with these 5 entities that apparently appeared from a second Big Bang that happened as I was pulling together from the story that they're trying to tell.
We talked about explosions a lot.
Yes. So this seems...
I feel like he only knows a select group of words and only a select order that he can say them because he said it a lot.
But I'm so excited for Death Stranding, and this got me more excited. I'm not even mad it's not Emma Stone. Whatever. We'll get there. We got many years to go.
This was me reaffirming the fact that he should just make movies.
Sure. But finish this game first.
But I was...
Why's the baby in his throat?
I was completely silent while watching it.
Yeah,
not just like...
me and my girlfriend watched it, and she was just like... like mesmerized as well. Not in a bad way. Like, you know, she's like, she follows the game stuff because I talk about it all the time. But, like, she absolutely was enthralled with what was happening on the screen. So.
Yeah, he can still capture attention. Like, that's why I think he should just be in movies. But at the end of it, I went, what was that? Also, when am I going to see this game? Sort of thing. So
PS5.
Yeah.
With that said, a little added news to PSX was added on for Death Stranding news. First off, he said that the swimming area, the water area, was all gameplay.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And Mark Cerny says it makes sense because he's played it for 5 hours.
Yeah.
That game has... Now, people are saying that game has 5 hours of gameplay. That's impressive. He could have just played the same hour 5 times because he didn't understand it. And like, oh, now I get it. But with that said, Death Stranding is a playable video game. Yeah. There is stuff you can do in Death Stranding with a controller. You
can also buy all sorts of things for the game.
Oh, they just opened another merch store. I don't know if you saw the PSX merch store. It is just half Death Stranding stuff. They got to make their money back. Oh, nice lady. Is that all donuts? Oh, I count 2. I count 2.
Count 2? That's coffee donuts.
I know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Best sister.
I didn't want to interrupt you, so I was like...
No, it's fine.
We can edit it out.
Oh, okay.
That's the magic.
Oh, I'm not going to. Thank you. I'll grab it in a second. In fact, I'm just going to grab it right now.
Okay.
Talk about drinks. What do you think about drinks?
They didn't have any French vanilla, so I got you caramel and hazelnut.
Whoa, I get the hazelnut. I hate caramel.
So, I've got straw.
Do you want one? Oh, you don't have straws? What one is this, hazelnut?
It says no.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you going to watch movies with us later?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Do you want other thing, or do you want to wait?
Yeah, I'll wait. I've got 2 drinks, so I'll wait.
Well, that was awesome. Once in a while, there's a happy surprise.
Yeah, I heard noise, and then it turned out to be a
I know, I heard
thing.
noise too. I'm like, what's going on? It sounds like somebody...
the fan was dying.
Me too. I was like, it sounds like somebody's stumbling around in the dark. I just assumed it was Todd, because Todd's supposed to be showing up. But it was better news. It was my sister delivering coffee and donuts. Yeah, delivering coffee and donuts.
We'll do it live then. Okay.
Dreams. What's that about?
I knew it was Dreams right when it started. It's pretty obvious when it's Dreams. I only really paid attention to the Game Awards information around Dreams. I didn't get into the
I haven't watched the complete PSX stuff, but I watched like a summary, basically.
I really like Little Big Planet. I know those aren't my type of games typically, but I really liked it, and I can trust these guys with it. It's pretty cool. The big thing that's dependent for me is release date.
2018.
What's it coming out around? Because this can easily, for me personally, I know I like to play games when they're relatively new and where I can fit it in on like a game of the year sort of talk, and so it's relevant. But this is something I can easily push a year.
It's not French vanilla, but it's not bad.
Also, in a year's time, these guys added a bunch of content to their other games, so maybe if I wait for a year,
so
more will come out.
This is basically a make your own game engine, and that is done to the extreme. They have like first person shooters, they have any genre of game you can make and you can create using their interesting like clay tool. And I do have to say, it reminds me of a dream when I watch it. Like, you know how dreams are fuzzy and they're weird and things blend together, and that's exactly how this looks. There is a full campaign. It's 3 separate campaigns that all end up interweaving together. And then the one thing that I did notice, I thought this game was going to be a VR game. Mm-hmm. They're very dodgy, apparently, on VR topics. It has VR, but it doesn't seem like the game is a VR game. So
they probably don't want to go hard in VR only, just because that limits.
Yeah, but I'm totally down to see what's up. I didn't think I'd care about Dreams, and they made me care. I'm going to watch all the... PSX still going on while we're filming this. So, like, new announcements and stuff we'll probably miss.
Most of the big stuff's already hit, though,
we can talk more about it next week when I feel fully confident in everything that I've read up on it. But I'm super happy it has a campaign. I'd like to see the video and stuff, because I haven't done that
Well,
yet.
the cool thing about it is what you'll be able to make, what you'll be able to share, and then this is going to be a big not as in like not 1 through 20 on the list of Twitch games, but it would be a cool channel or game channel to pop in and see what people are up to, sort of thing. There'll be a bunch of YouTube videos. Look what I made. And I can't wait to make the world's first roguelike racing.
That'd be hilarious.
all the stupid.
I just can't wait to play all the Mario knockoffs that show up. Next up, PSX. So those are basically... and like I said, we're abridging some of this. PSX announced Firewall 0 Hour, which is the 4v4 military shooter PSVR exclusive. Mm-hmm. It looks cool to me. It looks kind of like downgraded Rainbow Six Siege. I want to hear impressions of people who have actually played it because it's fully playable on the show floor. So it looks cool to me. A little weird because Bravo Team's coming out soon. That's the only thing that am I going to get one or the other type thing? But I'll listen to their impressions on the show floor. Jupiter and Mars, another PSVR game. I don't know what this is. It looked like Journey or Abzu in PSVR. There were some whales that were glowing colors. Literally no clue what was going on.
2 of my favorite Roman gods.
Mega Man is in Monster Hunter World.
Whatever.
This is really cool. He looks like a Minecraft character, like it's the 8-bit Mega Man.
Yeah.
And he takes the place, I think, of your cat companion. So it's not like an actual playable character. He's like your companion.
I wish I could hunt him and kill him.
You're a jerk. Which means you get on PlayStation, you get to play as Aloy with Mega Man as a partner. So that's pretty sweet. Also, I
like one of those.
His music, there's a song from every Mega Man game hidden throughout the world that you can collect and listen to while you're fighting, which is awesome.
Wish I got the chance to try Monster Hunter World.
We could play a little bit of that tonight, actually. Next up, Donut Country, which is what I'm about to go to after this finishes filming. This is a Katamari Damacy. That's what I saw when I saw this, and it was a hole, and you pick up the smaller things, the hole gets bigger. You pick up the smaller things, the hole gets bigger. Now you can get the medium stuff. Now you can get the large stuff, and you're clearing it. It's like a puzzle, I guess, to figure out the order to do stuff. This seemed very relaxing, and like I said, it reminded me of Katamari so much. So that's cool. I'm actually pretty interested in it. And then Rick and Morty VR got announced for PSVR. I've heard good things about this. I think it's already on Vive.
Yes.
So that's cool. Whatever.
Not a Ricky, or you haven't had a chance to watch Rick and Morty.
I've seen like 5 episodes, and I haven't really liked any of them. I'm not a big like sci-fi movie guy, so I watched one Mad Max episode that was fine. And that's about all I got.
Careful with that fan base.
I'll play your game, whatever. Last Guardian VR, a 15 to 20 minute Last Guardian VR experience, is coming for free next week. Super excited to play that. I'll absolutely have my impressions about it. Lots of VR news, which is really, really cool.
Give me Shadow of the Colossus VR.
Damn. This is probably, honestly, the biggest announcement besides the next one. Wipeout Omega Collection is getting a completely free VR update, and you can play that entire game in VR. That sounds amazing. I will be buying the collection very shortly. Probably by the end of the year I'll have it.
Mm-hmm.
We can play some Wipeout, split screen, whatever, and I'll be hopping into the VR Wipeouts. So that's really, really fun. I can't wait to... That's a really fast game. That's going to be crazy. And then the big announcement, oh my gosh, I didn't think this day would come. This is like a prediction that I wanted to make, but I knew it was totally pointless to do, and that is Medieval remastered from the ground up for PlayStation 4. Thank you, Sony. I love Medieval. It's such an underappreciated franchise. I thought we would be getting something because PlayStation All-Stars had Sir Daniel Fortescue in it, and I was like, ooh, baby, they're bringing back Medieval. And when you beat the story mode with him, the last line is, I wonder what's in store for his future, and then it fades to black.
It just took him a while.
And I'm like, oh, and nothing.
Yeah.
And finally he's here. This brings back my point that they are trying to bring every classic PS1, PS2 game to PS4, because from PS4 forward, everything's going to be backwards compatible. I know it. Their PS5 is going to play all the PS4 games, and they just want to get a launching point where that works.
Easy there, champ.
I make the predictions. They want to get a launching point where that works. That's why we got Parappa the Rapper. That's why we got Loco Roco. That's why we got Crash Bandicoot. Like, they're trying to bring everything in. Medieval's the next one, and that makes me very, very happy.
Give me the Gecko next.
That would be really cool.
I like those games.
Played one yesterday. PSN name changes should be coming by next PlayStation Experience. Not confirmed, but they said we would like to have you not have to ask that question next year, something along those lines. So they've been working on it. They've literally been working on this for at least 3 years. There's no way they haven't.
Yeah.
And the rumor is that they had it and they wanted to announce it, and they found a bug that would delete your account. So fix that before you release it. So that's cool.
And out of the three of us, it would have happened to Kellen because his Sony luck is horrendous.
And that's about it for the announcements. Is there anything else about either of the things that you want to throw out there?
No, the more I thought about it, you're talking about Game Awards and
whichever.
Heavily prefer an actual stage presence, more announcements with
For
PSX. I think they need to find a new date for it.
They're always after the Game Awards.
You can't move Game Awards because you need it
at the end of the year.
You need one more week, but that's Star Wars week, and you're not going to compete with Star Wars. You can next year, I guess. But so I feel like PlayStation's needs the bump. I actually liked the timing window for the Paris conference. I just didn't like that it wasn't PlayStation Experience.
Yeah.
I like having the business model for E3. Here's our sales. We're doing well.
The fun, casual PSX.
Here's what we didn't do well on, picking it back up, so it makes you feel like you're on the boardroom. Okay, yeah, we see it. And here's your business structure for the next year. And here's your, hey, Sony fans, whatever. So that's when you drop the bombshells of like a Spyro or something like that, where business model conference, you want to talk about the hardware and where it's going and visuals and 4K and all this other stuff, but when you have that select like group of fans, like that's when you want to drop in those announcements. For Game Awards, I think I already said it earlier, I prefer it if they're gonna go half Oscars, just go full Oscars. Get people out there. But I think I was kind of thinking in the back of my head as we were talking to you, I would really like to see it just one big collaborative effort. I want maybe a Greg, maybe IGN, whoever, maybe a Kotaku, maybe the big figureheads of the industry. I want to see them all on like one panel, so it's not it's not like you're getting like IGN's propaganda. You're not getting this guy's BS. Like you're getting them all talking. And that should be a table full of people where this guy scored at a 7.8, she scored at a 9, best game ever. This guy hasn't played it, sort of thing. So you get a whole mishmash of genre type people and reviewers, and you just get them all in there having fun, because then they don't have to worry about like, well, IGN thinks this or GameSpot thinks this. It's just, what do you think? So it feels a little bit more relaxed. But yeah, like spruce it up a bit. Quit doing these like crappy musical thing. Like if you're gonna do full orchestra, keep it full orchestra.
I like the orchestra thing, but yeah, it was weird that they had, what was it, Phoenix? That name comes to mind. play in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
I thought that was really strange. I wish Microsoft needs to get more of a presence in all this stuff, just in general. Maybe go the Sony route. I like what Sony's doing, remastering their old games. Give me Mega Soul. Give me, go talk to the people, get the rights for whatever. Remaster some classics.
I mean, they're killing it with the backlog that they're bringing back into.
It's awesome. Yeah. Now go remaster them from the ground up. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So I really like the direction of the award show. I think you need to start weeding out like actual announcements because a lot of people are there for that, but it's an award show, and I think you should make it about the awards. That's
what you should do for the breaks or videos. You don't have to have the guys who made the game come out and talk about it. I think those announcements should just be all teasers. Honestly, like I feel like just take them all away anyways, because I mean, like in the middle of the Oscars, you wouldn't have the Last Jedi trailer.
Yeah, that's why it's weird to me. Like I understand you need to wean people to that for this, and I think they need to do that because to me, the Game Awards are about the awards. And. Like the announcements are great, but that's why I like PSX right afterwards because then that's when I get my announcements.
So he needs to be a little bit more collaborative. I know I like what Keeley does and what he kind of like represents in the industry. I don't like him personally, but I feel like he needs to figure out what the show is. But if it's like mini E3 with like awards. I don't know. That's cool, but I just don't feel like it flows well. It really bugs me, not just the Persona one, but even with Mario. It's like, and best family game of the year goes to Mario, and then stay tuned for this new teaser. And it's just like, like Mario's heralded as one of the best games Metacritic-wise ever, and it's just kind of like, family game.
Yeah.
Persona 5, best RPG. Yet an RPG beat it for game of the year. Okay. Sort of thing. So. Get rid of the fan stuff, make it like an academy of people who do this for a living, and not just people who played one game named Zelda all year and they want to vote for Zelda. Do a fan vote, obviously to appease Zelda fans, but
so mad at Zelda. Anyway, let's move into just some comments/questions.
Sure.
Real quick, go through all them. Do a real fast what we've been playing again, releases, and get out of here. So, comments. Obviously, we had our 100th episode last week. So, Jordan, friend of the show, Jordan, says, so proud of you guys for 100 episodes. I hope to see 100 more. Also, 98 is still the best year, no doubt. I agree with you, Jordan. That makes it 3-2, which officially means it is the best year of all time. That's how statistics work.
He'll be here in the next couple weeks. I'll just beat him up. Actually, I don't think I can do that anymore. He's had training.
That's fair. Learen says, thank you so much for the shout out and thank you for another amazing episode. I love the montage at the end. Congrats on 100. I can't wait to see what another 100 look like, and thank you for this podcast. I'm also glad to hear everyone has the same opinion of Life is Strange as I do. Yeah, we don't like Life is Strange very much. That game is incredibly overrated.
You're in the right place.
Want another overrated one? Gone Home. I think that game, as somebody who walking simulator, one of my favorite genres of game, I think Gone Home is a weak one. But obviously, thank you so much for your comment, and thank you for watching the episode, especially watching the montage at the end, because that was a fun little moment I got to put there. I got a lot of comments both in the comment section and outside of people I know that watched it that appreciated that.
You go outside?
You got me. Next up, Zach Yonder says, for me, this is the best year in gaming. I got games from some of my favorite series: Persona, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, Yakuza, Mario. I also got Nier, Cuphead, Horizon, which are all new franchises. Congrats on 100. I really enjoy your content and will continue to watch and support you guys. Thank you so much. And I really do think we're going to look like when we were going over it and comparing it to those other years, it was like a rough comparison, but I really do think in 5 years, when we look back at this year...
We have hindsight on our side when we're doing that.
When we look back at this year, I think we're going to appreciate it more than we do right now.
I know what I typically do is do my own sort of best of the years where I include like movies and stuff like that too. Mm-hmm. But when I do that, I have to go back and sort of catalog what all did I buy this year. first off, I'm going to throw up when I see the price tag of everything that I bought. But second off, like the number of games that I bought and played through, definitely beat out probably the past 3 years combined. Obviously, since I didn't have a 200-hour RPG this year, it helps. But I was buying stuff left and right, and for the most part, I don't have much of a backlog for 2017 somehow.
Yeah, I got my Cuphead and my
just go home and don't leave. But yeah, it's been a great year.
Next up, I'm mad at you, by the way. I specifically told you to not let me forget something, and you let me forget.
You did?
Yes. I'll start with World Then says, I missed the Catherine poster. I was going to put some Catherine merch here.
Oh, yeah, you said something about Catherine.
And you didn't remind me. Maybe next week. Sorry about that. Next up, to me, the best year is still World End. To me, the best year is 2015, Batman Arkham Knight, my favorite game of all time. It's a masterpiece. Witcher 3, best open world RPG of all time. Sorry, Zelda. It's a masterpiece. Bloodborne. Was Bloodborne that year?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Bloodborne, amazing game, masterpiece. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, best COD campaign, best first-person shooter campaign, masterpiece. I can't name another year that has 4 masterpiece games for me, not even counting the other good games, such as Rise of the Tomb Raider, the actual best game you've named. Half of Metal Gear Solid 5. I agree with that one, though. Until Dawn, love that game. The Order, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Dying Light. 2015... Not my favorite year.
Not bad.
Didn't like 2015 at all. That being said, Rise of the Tomb Raider, really phenomenal. I didn't get to play it that year. I played it the next year. And Batman Arkham Knight gets a lot of flack. Very good game. It just goes on too long, but it's a very, very good game.
Statistically the best game of all time released in 2015, so it's hard to argue that
Mario
it's not the
3?
best. No.
Oh, then you're wrong. But yeah, 2015, not one of my favorite years. That was a problem that I had with Todd. Last week. Let's bring Todd into the fold. That was a problem I had with Todd last week doing his best year thing. He was very personal about it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't what I was going for. I wasn't going for what year affected, If we're doing that, 2017, not close to me. But I just meant like best year in gaming, full stop, not best year for me. Like he was very much like 3 of my favorite games released that year. And I'm like, but are they everybody's favorite game? Because they're not. Like,
if you ask it like that, like, I don't know, you have to ask statistics or whatever impact if you want to get specific.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a subjective question.
But thank you for the comment, and I will have Catherine stuff here soon. I screwed up. Let's move into a really quick what we've been playing and try to get through this and end this episode. So I'll go first really quick. Of course, been doing my Fortnite 50v50. Talked about that already. Been playing more Battleborn. Battleborn. Almost said Bloodborne because we brought it up. Battleborn. Love that. Free to play. Go check it out.
You can play Bloodborne.
It's fair. I need to get back to the game, actually. My big one that I played was Doom VFR. I talked about it a little bit last week, but I played more of it. I finished it. I almost got all the trophies. There's no platinum, unfortunately. And it's a really good VR game. It's not as good as Skyrim, like I said. Some things are a little bit weird. Like it really does feel like the guns are attached to your face because they're so high up. I would have preferred them a little bit lower. I don't think there's a perfect control scheme. The aim gun's weird because you want to aim down the sights, and that doesn't work in that game. The controller is good, but the guns being up high causes like a little bit of a disconnect, and then the aim controllers feel really cool and powerful until you have to move and you have to do teleporting and like quick turning, and that doesn't feel great, though it does feel really cool being in the world. The arm tracking in the game is really good, one of the best games I've seen with the arm tracking. So really enjoyed Doom. It's fairly short. It's a couple hours long. It's an interest. Like the story is the weakest part about it, but like when you get into those firefights, it's really intense. It's really fun. And you do feel like a boss when you're taking things out and teleporting into them and all that stuff. So
you also feel more scared when things jump out at you.
Sure, I didn't get that spooked.
Not
playing
spooked,
it,
but like in like something swinging at you and you're going like, whoa.
Skyrim scared me more. Because like a wolf will run out and just jump at you, and you're just like walking whatever, and then you look to your right and there's a wolf. Like things get really close to you in Skyrim.
Lots of skeleton
in
bros
Doom,
in that game too.
their attacks have a bit of like a wind up to them, and they telegraph a little bit more. The only thing that like made me jump in Doom when I turned and it was there was the big faces. Those big, scary face guys. I'm not a big fan of them. Or the skulls that charge at you. They're not great either.
Little
faces,
doggies.
basically. But yeah, that's about it for me. And I got Cuphead and Hellblade to play, so that should be what I'm working on next week. So, how about you?
For the most part, tried to play Monster Hunter. Sounds like I'm going to play it after this. So
yeah, I played that. I played that too. I don't have too many nice things to say about it, so I'm not going to go into it because I'm not a Monster Hunter guy. Yeah. It has all the issues I thought it would have. I'm not surprised, so I'm not even going to talk about it.
I am 40 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles 2. 8 days after it's come out, you do the math, with a full-time job. But I am liking the game a lot more than I thought I would. I don't typically do, I won't say side missions, but off the beaten path stuff. Basically, you're a salvager in this game. So I spent a lot of time salvaging. Most games, most JRPGs at least, when you're doing like money hacks or get infinite items, sort of stuff, it's really cheap and stupid. The way you do it in this game to farm gold and whatever is very thematically on point. You actually just play like your main character. You salvage a lot, get a bunch of gold, and you're a rich man. I like it because compared to games like Zelda and other open world aspects of games, this one doesn't have a lot of downtime in it. Even though you are running from point A to point B sometimes and fast traveling from here to there to get a little bit closer, it's got like I can call it like an Assassin's Creed sort of thing where the people that you're not using, I want to say it's also got sort of like a Pokemon system. You're collecting different what they call blades and drivers. So the person that's supporting you as you attack, whether it's your tank, your healer, whatever, the people that are supporting you during your combats, you can send them off on missions to do stuff, collect gold, whatever, and increase your rep. And like basically you kind of also lead like a little outfit that does a bunch of different things. So it helps progress the story because a lot of people, sort of like Persona, where you'll get into confidant situations where they're just like, I feel like I have to go do something for you to progress my story with you. You get a lot of times when people are like, hey, go do this thing for me. Oh, you're back. Awesome. Could you do this one more thing? Boop. New mission to do. And you can send your backup people to go do that because you can switch on the fly. So sort of like Pokemon, why I compared it to that, how you can recall people and use a different one during the middle of a fight. Same thing with this game. If you want to switch on the fly from attacking to tank to healing, or if you just like this guy's attacks more than this one's, you
sounds
can
like
swap
Final Fantasy 13.
Sure.
Good game.
Wouldn't know. But since you can do all that, it's cool to have that option because that's the only thing that sucks about the Breath of the Wilds and the sandbox games is that there's just a lot of downtime, and that goes back to Reggie's quote: "If it's not fun, why bother?"
Thanks,
so
Donkey.
you get a lot of fun, but also a lot of just like wasted time.
Mm-hmm.
So I like something that fills in the gaps like that. I actually downloaded the Japanese voiceover pack. Didn't use it. I tried it for a second, and it's one of those where if you're is Final Fantasy's problem where you're in the middle of the fight and people are just shouting stuff. So a lot of cues in this game are voice related or audio related. So when you're ready to do your special attack, someone will yell out, "My special's ready," or whatever is good to go.
Kind of brush up on your Japanese.
And that's when you hit the button, but it doesn't have subtitles. And even if it did, if you're looking at subtitles, like just sprinting across the screen while you're watching all this combat, it's too much, even for me. So I'm sticking with I think it's like Yorkshire, like English accents, but there's like some Irish people, there's some Australians, they're all over the place. It's very regionalized as far as like Monolith, who they got to do the voiceovers. You can tell they didn't even bother going US and over. But I like it. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. I thought I was just going to kind of breeze through the campaign just to kind of finish it. Probably going to spend another week on it and hopefully beat it. I feel like it's one of those games that has like true endings and all this other garbage. So I'll do as much as I can and probably beat it by the time our next show airs.
Hopefully our next show, we can do a more standard episode because we'll be caught back up and everything. All right, I do want to do an update on what Wendy's been playing as she's been going through the Zelda, and she literally just messaged me 4 seconds ago with I have
doing
8,
it live.
I have 8 of those seed things, and then 4 hours later, 11, 20 minutes later, 12. So playing Breath of the Wild, she's got 12 of the what are they called? I was gonna say Kakarot, but that is a Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yes,
whatever, the seeds that you collect.
That is Goku's name.
Yeah, I'll explain off camera why I brought that up. I watched a little Dragon Ball, but anyway.
What about Big Dragon Ball?
I guess it was Z, so
yeah,
it's technically Big Dragon Ball. She's trudging through doing her Zelda thing. She's still scared to get into any fights with any of the main things that you have to get into fights to progress in the story. So
non-confrontational pacifist playthrough.
Yeah, she's doing the Undertale thing.
Should recommend Deus Ex to her then.
And I think she just enjoys doing the shrines and stuff until she has enough hearts to not just get annihilated by things in one hit. But
it doesn't matter.
That
You'll
just
still get annihilated.
Yeah. Anyway, enjoying the game. Glad she's enjoying it. Now let's move into releases super fast and get out of here. Fallout 4 VR is coming to the Vive December 12th. I'm sure this is going to be great. Please make a PS VR port. That seems to be the consensus that we're going to get it.
Yeah.
But after seeing the phenomenal work with Skyrim, and Doom's really good too, I want them to do all their games. I don't care. I'll buy them. You have my trust.
Yeah.
With Bethesda, which I never thought I would say in my life.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7, speaking of VR, Gold Edition comes out for PS4, Xbox One, PC. This contains all of the DLC, including Not a Hero and End of Zoe, and all the banned footage 1 and 2, I believe they're called, or lost footage or whatever. So it has all of that stuff. Very excited to hop into that. Okami HD is coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, December 12th. Very excited. Also have
doggy.
Also going to get this one. Play with that doggy in PS4. I know there's a little bit of controversy over this because it is not 60 frames on the Pro, and people are like, "What? This is a PS2 game." But that's what you get. PUBG early access for Xbox One. I thought the game was coming out when it came to Xbox. Apparently not.
Yeah.
And Yooka-Laylee is coming to the Switch, and it's apparently the best version of the game. It has increased graphics somehow. Like they redid the lighting for the game.
You did not hear this wrong.
And they patched some things, like they added music to the pause menu and stuff because that was missing. And people were like, "How come when I pause the game, it's just dead silent? It's really weird."
That's what a pause is.
So anyway, that's it. We're done. We did it.
We are out of here.
Now we got a bunch of donuts. Todd's been waiting outside for 5 minutes, so we got to get out of here. But thank
donuts?
you. We can bring them some as an apology. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Press X Podcast. Thank you for being here. Nick?
Sure.
We'll speak with you next time.
Really didn't like those Game Awards.